If you're getting confused about all the ways you can do tasks and project management in Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Teams, then this is the video for you. So by the end of this video, you'll know all of the different options you've got available in the Microsoft suite to do task and project management, the interactions between them, and the benefits and negatives of each one. If you want to jump ahead to part 2, that's where I'm going to look at how to make Microsoft Lists a bit more useful than its out-of-the-box functionality at the time of recording. It's going to look something like this, and if you're watching this right now, I don't know when you're watching it, that one might not be available yet. So if you want to be notified when that comes out, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified every time I release a new video. I'm Gavin Jones, founder at MeTime, and we help companies save time by using the tools they've got at their disposal, which is the Microsoft 365 suite, leading with Microsoft Teams. If you're interested in working together, then stick around to the end to find out a little more. Okay, so here we are in the new Microsoft Whiteboard, which I'll just use to show you some of the interactions between the Microsoft 365 apps to do with task and project management, and we'll dive into a couple to see how they interact and what some of the limitations are. So in terms of go-to places to do your tasks, if you're using Teams, which presumably you are because it's 2021 after all, you will be used to using Planner, hopefully. So Planner's the out-of-the-box solution which goes into a Teams channel. It looks really nice. It's based on sort of a Kanban framework off of Trello, but it does have some limitations there. The benefits of Planner is, so it's out of the box, it's in Teams, it works really well with Teams, it's dead easy to set up, and it notifies people for you. So all of that chasing is done ahead of you. It's also one of the few options that gives you out-of-the-box reporting. So if you want to set up quite a simple project, this is usually your go-to. Downside of Planner is, unlike Trello, it doesn't have very good auditing. So you could come into the board and find that everything's been moved around. They have started to say, you know, what changes have happened, some changes have happened rather, since you've been back in, but it doesn't actually tell you what those are. Whereas Trello would say, Gavin has moved this task to this place, and you've got an entire list of everything that's happened. That doesn't happen in Planner at the time of recording. So the other go-to place to do your task management, at least, is Microsoft To Do. So that is similar to OneDrive and SharePoint. To Do should be for your personal tasks that you then might choose to share individual ones over, and Planner is like SharePoint, where everything there is shared by default to the people that have got access to that plan. If you set it up into a team, then the permissions are shared, the same permissions from the team as goes into the Planner plan. Like my other video on To Do and how to manage Outlook tasks and things between them, if you assign a Planner task to somebody, that will also, if I go onto the new arrow tool, let's have a look at this, go into To Do for you. I'll have a quick look at that a bit later. But if you assign a Planner task to somebody, it's going to go in their To Do. So if they're using To Do already, then obviously everything that they need to do, both stuff their own and stuff they've been assigned from elsewhere, is going to go into their To Do, which is a good reason why you want to get people onto using To Do eventually, and is what we help people do once we've got people through to Teams, because once you get people on Teams, they'll then pick up Planner, and if they pick up Planner, they'll then pick up To Do, and then it starts to be everything feeding together, which is great. Now, the other, apart from project, the most obvious place that then people might want to put tasks and run their project from is lists. And whilst this was, let's see if that turns into a square, yeah, my dodgy mouse skills. Whilst this was just about to come out, a lot of my clients thought that this might be the golden age, elixir, whatever the word is. My clients thought this was going to be the solution to all their problems. They've seen, you know, adverts for Monday.com. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of those on YouTube. If you're watching this, it might even be popped up during this video. Who knows? They thought that List was going to be the place that, you know, is the Monday.com of the Microsoft 365 suite. And unfortunately, at the time of recording, it is not that. If you want to do a list, then it's great. You can do a list. If you want it to notify someone, it doesn't do that out of the box. If you want to assign people, you can, but then it doesn't actually go anywhere. You can make it look nicer if you want, but then you might stray into needing some code from JSON, and the thing that you most probably want to do kind of falls through the cracks of what lists can do out of the box. But we can do some quick reminders and power automations around it to make it a bit more useful, which we'll have a look at in part 2. So check out this video next. So if you are running a project, then you also might want to have some notes around that project or whatever you're doing. Usually you've got some notes and some tasks. And wouldn't it be great if you could have the notes and the tasks all in one place? Well, you then think that OneNote might be your best friend, but again, that's got some downsides. So although you can obviously put notes in OneNote and you can put tasks, we'll have a look at some of the nuances in a little bit, where you can put I think they call it a to-do in there, which is nothing to do with Microsoft To Do. It just stays in OneNote. And then depending on which version of OneNote you're using at the time of recording, it's very complicated. But we'll go through it. You can insert an Outlook task in there. And if you insert an Outlook task in there, as we looked at in the Microsoft To Do video, which you can check out here if you want to learn a bit more about those interactions, that will sync into Microsoft To Do. So if I go back to my little arrow tool and find Outlook, if you do an Outlook task, that will go into Outlook. Tried to do a little arrow on myself there, didn't I? And then that Outlook will sync into Microsoft To Do for you. Oh, it's quite tricky not to do your own arrow. Used to using Apple Notes. There we go. So the OneNote Outlook task will sync into Outlook, obviously, and then once it's in Outlook, that will sync into To Do for you. But that at least keeps all your notes and your actions together. But if you're not using the right version of OneNote, especially if you're using a tablet, you can't do this. That's not going to go anywhere. So you need to be mindful about which task you are adding into OneNote. Also, it's only going to go into your Outlook tasks. You can't assign anyone else a task, an Outlook task from OneNote. So again, it could be amazing, but lets us down at the last hurdle. If you are a project manager, the most obvious thing that you are going to be using is Microsoft Project. You might have used Microsoft Project for ages. It's very, very detailed. It used to be just a desktop app. Now it's quite complicated because it's a desktop app. It's a desktop app with online storage, and it's just Project on the web is online only. And it's a bit like Planner on steroids, and also it needs a license, an additional license. And so if you're not a project manager that's got Project already, you are, I would say, from my experience, most likely not to have a license and not be able to get one from your organization. So you're stuck with using something else to run your project. Most people, therefore, most normal people do normal jobs that just need to get their job done and are not a professional project manager that's got a project management role in the organization. They might be a brands manager, there might be someone that's just put onto a project to run a project, or even if you are a professional project manager and you've got a project plan and then you haven't got enough licenses that anyone else can see that plan, or it's not useful for them to see the plan because they're not to get notified about stuff that's assigned to them anyway, you're probably just going to be using Excel, and lots of big businesses run everything on Excel still, despite all of this technology. And so I'll have a quick look at the end about how you can then use some of the new functionality in Excel to hopefully at least get some of those benefits of be able to lay out the project how you want, and then also be able to notify people. And then lastly, just to make sure the box is all squared off, obviously we've got Outlook, which is where you can put Outlook tasks just for yourself, and they don't go anywhere else, although you can assign them to other people, a bit like To Do. So if you did want to put it from OneNote, if you did an Outlook task in OneNote, you could then go into Outlook and assign that Outlook task to somebody else. You could wait until that syncs into To Do and then go into To Do and assign that to somebody else. But obviously then that isn't going back into OneNote, so you can't then see the notes and see who's assigned to, unless you put it in the note or in the task, who it's assigned to. Very confusing. and we're going to have a quick deep dive into all of these. And then if you want to know anything else, make sure you let me know in the comments below, because there, at the time of recording, lots of different options, and also lots of different options within the options because of how far the various apps, web apps, iOS apps are all in competing versions, which may have some functionality missing than others as well. So we'll have a look at all of that stuff coming up right now. So stick around to the end if you're interested in anything that we've just been through to do with task and project management. Oh, and of course, not forgetting Microsoft Teams. So Teams is going to be able to put most stuff into it. I'm just done this at the end, so because our graph's going to get quite messy, obviously you can pin an Excel document into Teams that uses Excel on the web, which has the latest functionality you can do tasks in. You can have a OneNote pinned into Teams. You can have Planner go into Teams. You can probably, although I've not tried it, pin a project on the web website into Teams. You can definitely have lists in Teams. You could pin your Outlook web app into a Teams channel if you wanted to. And To Do and Planner are sort of amalgamated at the moment, called Tasks by Planner and To Do, or whatever they've cumbersomely called it, whatever they've cobbled together at the moment to make that transition before it's just called Tasks. But then if they don't get rid of Outlook Tasks at the same time as that's called Tasks, that'll get quite confusing. So hopefully they'll sort that. This is all the melee that we're just going to go through right now. So let's go and have a quick look. So that was a quick whistle-stop tour of some of the complexities of project and task management in Microsoft Teams. If you want to watch the second part, where we're going to go through a bit more depth and have a look at how to make lists a bit more useful, then make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified every time a new video comes out. If you like this one already, then remember to give us a thumbs up. It helps in the YouTube algorithm. And if you really liked it, consider buying me a beer using the link in the description below. It really helps support the channel and keep free content coming out on YouTube. So thanks for watching so far, and we'll see you in the next video.